we had been invited by Nation FM, and we were talking to the Gen Zs about e-commerce, and they were glad to note that we have stuff like e-commerce that they can use for their Airbnb, because this generation is quite industrious. Acceptance everywhere is critical, especially for SMEs. Africans' hospitality and attraction sectors are moving quickly toward contactless as the default experience. The opportunity is largest and the returns most inclusive when we bring the long tail into the digital economy. So here we are looking at guides, we are talking about the drivers, we are talking about curious sellers, we are talking about homestays and community conservancies. Solutions like tap to phone. Tap to phone means you tap your card on a phone, or you tap a phone to another phone to make a payment. And Kenya being mobile first, this adoption is quickly picking up. So this technology turns Android smartphones into a secure payment terminals, and local innovations such as tourist tap are expanding acceptance in exactly these settings. Interoperability is equally important. Kenya is a mobile-first payment market, and Visa has leaned into the reality, partnering to launch the M-Pesa Global Pay Virtual Visa Card so consumers and small businesses can pay international merchants easily. And so at Visa, we've partnered with Safaricom to issue the Visa Global Card, and it's gaining traction really fast. Finally, data makes destinations smarter. Visa's travel insights confirm that travel demand is strong but concentrated. If we use data to spread demand beyond the usual hotspots and into emerging circuits from Western Kenya's culture and budding to Northern Kenya's landscapes and community conservancies, we grow the pie and reduce pressure on signature sites in peak seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya's policy ambition is clear. The government's strategic plan targets major gains in arrivals, earnings, and sector contribution to GDP by 2027, with the research, with the innovation, and with data-driven decisions as explicit enablers. The trajectory is positive. Last year's arrivals and earnings underline that we are on the right path. Our task now is to lock in quality growth, more value per visitor, more value per county, more value per community. Regionally, visa openness continues to expand, improving intra-Africa mobility and supporting multi-country circuits, which are essential drivers of year-round demand. At the same time, we must keep improving travel facilitation. Kenya's 2024 shift to an ETA system was a bold step toward modern digital border management, and ongoing refinements can further reduce friction while maintaining security and standards. Over the next 12 months, Visa and Kenya Tourism Board will focus our collaboration on 3 priority areas that reflect Kenya's strengths and the travelers' new expectations. First, we will use insights from the Government Insight Hub to help prioritize source markets and seasons, informing KTV's campaigns and county-level trade missions. The goal is to smooth seasonality and raise the average spend per visitor by aligning products to preference. Second, we will support broad acceptance upgrades in partnership with banks, fintechs, and industry associations. So yesterday I attended a forum with Travel Tech, and these were industry think tanks talking about how we can improve payments, digitized acceptance across Kenya and beyond. Third, we will extend merchant education on digital onboarding, fraud prevention, and dispute management, leaning on Visa's global security expertise and local partners. And so yesterday we learned that one of the reasons we didn't pick very well in digital platforms was trust. And by educating both the cardholders or the consumers and the merchants, we will then enhance the trust much needed. A digital tourism economy must also be a responsible tourism economy. When payments go digital, transparency improves, leakages reduce, and the true value of nature and culture shows up in the data that policymakers, conservancies, and communities rely on. This enables better conservation funding by making it easier to pay park fees, activity permits, and community levies digitally, ensuring more of every tourist shilling reaches its purpose. It also drives inclusive growth by equipping women and youth-led SMEs to sell and get paid anywhere, expanding who participates in tourism upside. And it helps manage visitor flows by using insights to guide demand to under-visited counties and shoulder seasons, protecting the very assets visitors struggle to see. As I close my call to action to our public sector leaders, keep backing smart facilitation and open interoperable standards. Your progress on strategy and policy is creating the conditions for everything else to work at scale. To our private sector partners, let's upgrade acceptance everywhere visitors show up. Let's turn insights into action, and let's tell Kenya's story with campaigns that convert curiosity into bookings. To our counties and communities, bring your hidden gems forward. The travel we serve is searching for the authentic, the undiscovered, the meaningful. With digital rails, even the smallest enterprise can reach the world. And to everyone here today, let's make the next 48 hours count. Walk the floor. I know the exhibitors here have done a very good job. And so for us is to encourage you to walk the floor, forge partnerships, try the tech, book the pilots, close the deals today. I'll end here. I begin with gratitude. Asante sana, KTV, for convening this platform and for partnering with Visa to imagine what's possible. To the travel trade here and abroad, thank you for keeping the flame alive in hard years and for building better. At Visa, our purpose is to uplift everyone, everywhere, by being the best way to pay and being the best way to get paid. In Kenya and across Africa, tourism is where that purpose meets possibility, where a tap isn't just a transaction, it is trust, time saved, jobs created, wildlife protected, and memories made. Looking forward to journeys that change lives and to a magical Kenya that is more connected, more inclusive, and more sustainable than ever before. Thank you.
That was a great presentation. Thank you so very much, Visa Country Manager Kenya. Now it's a great honor for me to introduce Mr. David Nyamo, General Manager Public Sector, Kenya Commercial Bank. Welcome to the stage. KCB is a powerful bank. It's an international bank. It's a great partner of government as well as Kenya Tourism Board. Good to have you, sir. Karibu.
Thank you. Good morning, all. God is good, and all the time. Asante. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to join you today as we gather to explore a bolder, more inclusive, and digitally enabled future for African tourism. This is therefore means that reimagining tourism means scaling up opportunities for communities, entrepreneurs, and the entire value chains across Africa. The theme, reimagining African tourism through digital transformation, is timely. In 2024, African tourism experienced a strong rebound with 74 million international visitors, representing 12% increase from 2023 and 7% above 2029 levels. This growth was fueled by strong post-pandemic demand, leading to a significant increase in tourism revenue and demonstrating the sector's resilience. But let me begin with the reality we face and the opportunity before us. In 2024, tourism contributed meaningfully to global economic activity and remains a major employer worldwide. Africa's unique assets, including wildlife, the pristine coastline, and the cultural heritage positions the continent to capture a greater share of global travel as connectivity and demand recover. At the same time, digital technologies from mobile payments to AI-enabled platforms are reshaping consumer behavior, distribution channels, and the economies of service delivery. So where should the financial sector focus to make digital transformation a level for tourism recovery and inclusive growth? I see opportunities in 5 practical pillars where banks and partners can make an immediate and measurable impact. Number 1, seamless digital payments and receipts. Travelers today expect frictionless payments. In Africa, mobile money and digital accounts have already transformed how people pay, receive, and save dramatically, increasing financial inclusion and transactional transparency. Expanding interoperable, instant, and low-cost payment rails for tourism reduces cash leakages, captures digital receipts that feed tax and marketing data, and raises trust for international travelers. I am glad to note that at KCB, we are taking a lead on this through the KCB multi-currency card that supports 18 currencies and is designed to simplify international transactions by enabling seamless spending across various destinations. The card supports an extensive range of currencies, including the Kenya shilling, the US dollar, the British pound, the euro, Swiss franc, the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Indian rupee, Japanese yen, the South African rand, and the Chinese yuan, among other currencies. Number 2, we have to have tailored finance products. Most tourism businesses in Africa are MSMEs, comprising of guest houses, tour operators, craft vendors, and transport providers. They need short-term working capital to manage seasonality, inventory finance for peak seasons, and invoice or merchant finance tied to bookings. Financial institutions should therefore design flexible, small-ticket products delivered via digital channels and underpinned by real-time booking data and alternative credit signals rather than legacy collateral models. There is growing research showing digital finance and fintech integration spur tourism revenues and cross-border flows when paired with the right policy and infrastructure. Number 3, risk transfer and micro-insurance. Tourism is vulnerable from weather, health shocks, and cancellations. Micro-insurance and parametric insurance delivered through mobile wallets or digital platforms can lower barriers for small providers and travelers alike. Embedded insurance in booking flows gives both travelers and hosts confidence while reducing contingent liabilities for operators. Banks and insurance working together to underwrite digitally priced products will increase sector resilience. How? By 1, data and digital identity. Digital receipts, booking data, eKYC, that is electronic identity, and anonymized analytics, and to allow lenders to undertake risks more accurately, enable dynamic pricing, and help governments and DMOs, that is the destination management organizations, plan capacity and conservation measures. Public-private data partnerships that respect privacy can transform everything from targeted marketing to disaster preparedness. Number 2, green and impact finance. Sustainable tourism is a long-term business proposition. The financial sector can provide discounted lines for eco-certified upgrades, blended finance for community lodges, and measurements frameworks for impact investors. Banks should develop green loan products and technical assistance packages for small operators so that small operators can reduce energy use, water consumption, and waste while increasing the value they capture per visitor. It is refreshing to note that in collaboration with the State Department of Wildlife, we at KCB are pioneering the conservation prepaid cards, a suite of beautifully crafted cards themed around Kenyan's ironic wildlife. The elephants, lion, and cheetah. With every transaction, a small contribution will be made to the Wildlife Conservation Trust Fund. Card holders choosing the elephant card will contribute Kenya shillings 10 per transaction. The lion card, Kenya shillings 5, and the cheetah card, Kenya shillings 3. While those contributing may seem modest individually, together they represent a sustainable and growing pool of resources that will support critical conservation initiatives, reduce the impact of human-wildlife conflicts, and uplift the livelihoods of those most directly affected by them. At the same time, we are co-developing a broader portfolio of innovative financial instruments aimed at deepening sustainable financing for conservation. Among these is a retail round-up mechanism that will enable everyday consumers to make effortless micro-donations at merchant loans, as well as designing a sustainability bond to raise capital for much-needed infrastructure within protected areas. Our planned wildlife real estate investment trusts will attract long-term private investments into conservation-linked properties. At KCB, we see 3 potential programs that could be deployed, often in partnership with government, development finance partners, and technology firms. The first one being destination payment hubs, where this will include digital merchants onboarding, instant settlements, and an integrated merchant dashboard for small tourism MSMEs so that they can accept cards and mobile money, access same-day settlements, and build transaction histories for credit. The second one will be on tourism working capital portal. The creation of a robust marketplace, finance products linking tour operators and accommodation providers with receivable financing backed by verified booking data and real-time payment rails will support in elevating the tourism industry to higher standards. And the final one is embedding micro-insurance and refund guarantees. There needs to be an intention move to put in place appropriate policies linked to booking flows in line with weather or health triggers to protect operators and travelers, reducing cancellations and building confidence in the products. The Kenyan tourism sector is capital intensive, yet it still relies on outdated financing models that lag those of lending global destinations. Dependence on foreign intermediaries inflates travel costs, while fragmented markets have caused industry to miss out on significant growth opportunities. The sector currently requires innovative, locally driven financing that can unlock competitiveness and keep Kenya on the global tourism map. At the same time, the human elements must remain center stage. Digital transformation is a tool, not a mission. It should deliver better livelihoods, more entrepreneurs owning tourism businesses, and expand access for historically marginalized groups, including women, youth, and our rural communities. The right tech, scaled by responsible finance, can ensure tourism growth is inclusive and durable. In concluding, reimagining African tourism through digital transformation requires 4 ingredients: ambition, partnership, smart regulation, and finance that is designed around people and places fast. At KCB, we are ready to lend our enterprise, platforms, and our balance sheet to scale pilots fast, measure what works, and turn the successful pilots into continents-wide impact. I wish to call on all of us to build a tourism sector that is digitally fluent, climate sensitive, and owned by the many, not by the few. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can we please give a round of applause to our keynote speakers? So I'll ask the sound team to please turn on the mics here. We're about to go into our Q&A session. But just to recap, we had the opportunity to listen to a presentation by Angore Benedict Vida. He did an academic presentation on the evaluation of the impact of website optimization on star-rated hotel performance, evidence from Mombasa County, Kenya from 2020. Let's give him a round of applause. Then we listened to 3 panelists, myself included, Akidan Murugeta, a co-founder of Clear Skies Technology. We listened to Mr. Francis Washira, head of ICT Governance and Assurance from KCB, and from Clara Okoro, founder and chief operating officer from My Beautiful Africa. We didn't get a chance to listen to the audience, so this is your chance. I want to open the floor to any questions. I'll also ask my colleague from Visa to please come join us here for any questions that we may have. KCB is represented here on stage. So I see a couple of questions. Sound team, do we have a mic? We do, we have a mic? Okay, great. So there's a couple of questions. We'll start with the gentleman on the left, then we'll go there, and then here. So please.
I'm the director in the Ministry of Tourism from Uganda. First and foremost, we learned a lot from the panelists. And we are speaking here about taking advantage of digital opportunities. Because statistics that globally there are about 1.5 billion tourists who travel. But if you look at the statistics, the people who came to Africa, out of 1.4 billion travelers in the world, only about 72 million came to Africa. And out of the 72 million that travel to Africa, 42%